but it's not your purpose. Mission of Jesus is the purpose of marriage. I'm going to say something. Marriage is a priority, but it's not your purpose. Mission of Jesus is the purpose of marriage. I'm going to say something that is going to be controversial, but I really believe it, that it's not God first, your marriage second, and your ministry third. I don't believe in that. I'm going to tell you why. The moment you make marriage a center of marriage, it's the best way to destroy it. Marriage thrives the best when it has a mission. And ministry to God. I'm not talking about full-time ministry. I'm talking about serving God. I'm talking about where both of you, whether it's helping the poor, whether it's leading a life group, you are ministering to somebody else, then God takes responsibility for your marriage. Marriage is always a priority, but it's not the purpose. The purpose is the mission of Jesus on this earth. And for us, that is that. Now, we're fortunate that both of us are on the staff in the church. But even before that, you know, we both said that we will be both involved. We will be serving God together. Now, that doesn't mean that every night we are in church. It doesn't mean that every single morning we are in church, but it simply means that the purpose of this marriage is to serve God, not just to believe in God, not just to believe in Jesus, not just to get to heaven, but that we bring people to Jesus, that we help the poor, that we help the orphans and the widows, that we lead other people, that we make disciples. And I've seen God bless our marriage, and I've seen God bless marriages of couples who don't make their marriage a priority, who don't make their marriage their purpose, but who make God's mission their purpose. Couples who miss church on Sunday mornings, we're working on our marriage. You gotta be kidding me. Oh, we're working on it's our family day. You made your family into an idol. God will never bless that kind of idol. There's only, the first commandment is not thou shalt love your husband and your wife. It says thou shalt love the Lord your God. And the second one is not thou shalt love your children or your spouse. It's to love your neighbor. What does this mean? God says, I want you to make me your priority and your purpose, and then with your family serve that purpose. Husbands, take your wife and your children to church. Oh, but they don't want to go to church. Lead them. 80% of wives and children will go to church if the husband will step up. If you think for a moment, we are going to skip church, we're going to skip prayers, we're going to skip life groups, but we're going to spend a family together. If you look realistically at that family time, every child is in a different room on a different iPad. Every room has a different Netflix login. That's not family time. That's Hollywood time. You're not spending time with the Holy Spirit. You're spending time. They're drinking poison. And next thing that happens, 15-year-old girl and she's already pregnant. 15-year-old guy and he's already on drugs. And then you find out you and your wife, you know, are headed for a divorce, sleeping in 2 different rooms. When you make your family into an idol, you will have big problems. When you make Jesus and His mission as the center of your family. I am not saying that you spend 24/7 in church, but that you make Jesus's mission as the goal. You will be surprised. Your marriage not only will last, but there will be a blessing of God on it.
Yes, and you know, as individuals, as human beings, we need purpose to thrive in our life, in this world, you know, because we were created for a purpose. And also the marriage needs a purpose. If there is no purpose, if marriage is the purpose, it's kind of like it's a dead end. You know, the marriage is a representation of Christ and the church, and we have to reflect that. And guess what? Jesus Christ gave the mission to the church here on earth. Church is not just about the church around itself,
yes.
You know, the church has a mission,
yes.
And we as a reflection of Christ in our marriage, we have to have mission for the marriage to thrive and to be blessed and to be fulfilling in our lives.
It's a river, not a reservoir. It's not a bottle. Don't bottleneck your marriage. I remember when we went to, I think either our first year of marriage or right before we got married, we went to a marriage seminar in Vancouver, Washington. And I remember this guy preached a sermon on the marriage, and he said this, that it always stuck with me. He says, if your marriage builds God's kingdom, God will build your marriage. I remember it like yesterday and stuff. And so, and honestly, we made a decision that to the best that we can, we will try to travel together to preach the gospel together. We will try to serve together. We will try to, my wife has a life group, I have a life group. We both we're involved as a Christians. I'm not talking about right now as a pastors, as a Christians involved in the mission of Jesus, because it gives us an outlook, it gives us an outflow, and it gives us something, it gives our life a meaning. And we don't struggle with this boredom, because boredom is one step away from being in bondage and stuff. Your marriage has a purpose. Your marriage has a meaning. And some of you, that's what you're lacking. And it's more than just raising healthy children. And even raising healthy children, they have to be raised around parents that are serving God. Don't hide behind this thing, I believe in God. Listen, honey, demons believe in God. They're still going to hell. It's not enough to believe in God. You got to serve Him. You got to give your life for Him. And it's not about me discovering just my gifts. It's about me denying myself to fulfill the assignment of Jesus Christ. You know, I look at my parents, they raised 5 children. I look at my grandma, you know, they raised, 16 children. They didn't raise because they were experts in parenting. They took us always to church. God was always honored and served in our family. I saw that. And though my parents were not experts, but they raised us with that natural inclination toward that. And I want to raise my family. I want to be an example, not only of loving each other, but that our marriage loves God more than we love each other. We don't make idol out of our marriage. We make God as the center of our marriage.